Hello everyone, welcome to QA Labs for you. This is another episode of QA SAMVAAD Season 2. Today we have a special guest who is having experience of more than 2 decades in the software testing industry. He is a founder and CTO of TestNeo.ai. He is a speaker, he is a mentor, he is an author, he is a Gen AI test architect and many more. Today he is here to share his perspective about the future of software testers in the AI era. So without wasting any more time, I'm just calling Guru on the show. Hi Guru, welcome to QA SAMVAAD.
Yes, Shrikant. Thanks for the opportunity. It's been great here.
Thank you, Guru. Guru, like I have seen your profile, you have more than 22 years of experience in the industry. So I just want to understand what you have seen the changes, especially in the industry in last 22 years.
It's a long journey. So anyone having a 20 plus years of experience, right? It's not easy. Mm-hmm. We've seen all the world in the sense like. I worked on different domain, I would say, right? That as a manual tester, I started my journey, and where I was working for telecom, then later banking, then later more on the service side a bit, and also working for different product-based companies, right? So what I have seen, of course, we are from the QA background, right? So all days like end up. Getting more bugs from the production, and though we automate every bit of the automation steps, right? I mean, whatever we try to coverage, someone will very vaguely ask those days my management, hey, what is the coverage? I said, yeah, 70, 80. From where that 80% is coming, we also don't know, right? So that's the gut feeling. So still we see a lot of bugs in the production. Why? So why you're not able to catch? So automation will not. I don't think so. It will completely find the bugs. That is meant for something else. But when you have a domain knowledge, no matter what in the AI era also, right? In AI era, you should be a SME and then domain knowledge and what exactly user expect, right? If you are in strong those areas, I think that is where I always used to carry from different companies to companies. And things have changed a lot. I work with you remember I don't know. Borland, Silk Test, WinRunner, QTP. These are the automation tools. So I started my journey. I still remember we used to get in CDs and then install in Office, and then we used to do. And later we moved very recently, at least 1 decade or 10 years. I would say more Selenium and Playwright, and then so the journey is more automation tag is always there. But as a title, I worked as a director, I worked as DevOps director, and then product. QA manager, no matter what title you get, right? So in other words, you are the person as a quality gate, right? A gatekeeper. You are able to directly face the customer, right? Or the stakeholders, I would say, and then answer them. So that in terms of quality and everything, right? So that is where the journey I think started. Worked on different titles, worked on different countries as well to get more exposure. I was there for some time. And in London, almost 3 years. So learned a lot because again, I work mostly in the product-based companies. So I carry the product tag always. But when we build something, when we change something, than the service companies. In service company, I worked almost 2 to 3 years. Most of the banking, US banking applications, right? So top companies, I worked there as a CO head as well. Yeah, that's in short. That was journey.
Great journey. So, Guru, one thing which I want to understand, especially in 2026, every organization is right now talking about AI, right? You started with QTP and before that, but right now everyone is heading towards AI. Everyone's wants to leverage AI in software testing. So, what do you think? What mistakes leaders are doing right now in the industry? Because still in the industry, no one is leveraging AI in an effective way. What do you think?
Yeah, 2026, right? I mean, I'll just take a step backward 2 to 3 years back, or close to 4 years back, where ChatGPT, I think in September, right, it launched. A lot of noise was happening there. Where I was there, in one of the service companies, I was working there. I was very closely watching what's happening in that space. Even I was very impressed at the time. Hey, it can replace the tester. It will try to do one of magics, right? And at the same time, even for the stakeholders, or the management, or the companies, or an organization, even for them also, it was going on. Hey, you can do many things. Like what you guys are doing, then just do it. Because customers, we want to show them the value. So at that time, definitely it was not that matured. We keep hearing a lot of technical jargons here and there. Someone talk RAG, embedding, so many things. No one know what is that. And then I remember I learned LangChain. A lot of text. The AI tech stack is totally different. We will see later. And the one question. I mean, what I always when I was working with this, right? Does it really impact customers, or does it add a value? I was thinking in that direction. I was trying to implement, but when I go to the stakeholders, the management, the scenario is different. As you asked the question, right? So the leverage, what I would say at present, still people are struggling. I mean, they use it definitely. Everyone is using it nowadays. But what matters is that really the customer needs, right? What quality that we are giving to the customers, and what is the outcome. This is the things I see. But the fourth is very important, the security and the governance, right? They won't think about it. Hey, my customer is asking for this use case, one of the banking application. I'm saying based on my experience, they want to convert, from mainframes, I believe, or COBOL, right? They were doing a migration, right, to the modern applications, right, modern React or whatever. So we built an application where that would convert to the latest tech stack. That worked, right? The moment we go to the demo of the device, all fine, but customers still ask, "You are sharing my code. How did you generate?" The code all went to models that whatever you're using. If you say Microsoft Azure, Grok, Llama, Meta, whatever, they don't care, right? I mean, that's a very important question we used to get it. And we never prepared. We never prepared for that. Yeah. Because we did a magic, we felt, oh, happy, we're able to convert and then push to not even production, show it. But is that productionized? No. Because all were happy with the POCs and not even MVP, I would say, right? Because a lot of challenges when you go to the production that used to. This is the question they used to ask. Like even I was working for one of the even Arab countries, right? So customers, I mean to say. So they're also, they shared me 50 questions. We just answered these 50 questions, or 50 or 20, maybe, so 50 to 60 questions. It's very difficult to answer everything at that time because the governance, the security, nothing was mature enough. Like everyone was new in terms of security, the governance, and then all of the other AI stuff, right? So that is where I see the company leveraging has this weakness. But now I believe in 2026 now, people are asking for it. A lot of changes are happening. We have seen some are already in the production. So it all depends upon the use case. But what I feel is for enterprise, it's always a tough job, no matter what. Because I work for enterprise companies like the tools, at least Microsoft Dynamics, ServiceNow, or Workday, SAP, Salesforce. We just keep automation aside, but at least at the overall AI transformation, it's for everyone, right? Not only for QA, right? That is where the lot of challenges used to come. And then coming to the QA, people now reach to a level where, hey, I can generate test case, I can generate the code, I can go to Claude, I can go to ChatGPT, I'll just put all the questions there. Prompt, I get an answer, I'm happy, I can demo to my team, they are good, to management. But who's taking to the customer? Customer don't really care about what you convert, right? That is their the problem from 20, 30 years, right? So in automation, if you see, right? So they really don't care what kind of tool you use, and if tool is blocking, it is not our problem. So your goal is to, how do you ship a product, no matter what AI will come? How confident are you? Your release confidence, or how confident you are, getting to the systems and then make customers happy, no matter what tech you use, because technology will come today, tomorrow it's going to change. You see the news, what happened to Fable, US government completely blocked because of the security and other reasons, just to report his back, right? So these things will definitely change the way we see, but don't expect the magic. It will be a tough journey to implement it, to make it productionize, and then at the end of the day, take that to a customer. It is not an easy task, I would say.
Agree, Guru. Guru, you have talked about 2026, you talked about AI, everything. Last year, you have also started building one product, AI powered product, right? So I just want to understand the need and what inspired you to create the entire new product for the community.
Yeah, so even I'm the founder for a company called Testio. I do kind of a multiple roles there as a PTO, like Chief Product Technology Officer. Apart from 1 year, 1 year we are doing this. What inspired me, again, I take the same example. We was working for a service company. I was demoing almost like 50 plus clients. I mean, big fives, I would say, right? Or big five companies, all service companies, uh, one thing what they used to ask me, especially with the automation side, I'm just saying because that's our main SMEs, right? So they would say, "Hey, I will give you the requirement. Okay, you generate me the test case, a test suite, and click of a button, you just automate it.
Okay.
That's it. It's so. I mean, that is looks very simple, right? If you build that, will be really cool. So and I did a lot of demos. None of them were not working properly because we are not prepared for that questions. Right? We were happy that hey, I'm able to generate script, I'm able to generate Selenium, Cypress, or Playwright. We built a small application and then we did it, and that didn't work out. They say even I can go to ChatGPT and ask, why should I come to you? That's number one question. Why should I come to you? Just answer. Right? See that's what it made me to think like what's happening in this AI, especially for the automation. Right? So I just saw like 20 plus tools, or probably yeah, close to that. I did a lot of R&Ds. Most of the tools. I don't need to
Yeah,
like
yeah.
explain to the community, right? They know everything, but none of them were very close to this kind of a concept. Like you just feed everything, you should be able to automate in a one go. And the second part is where I was even writing a patent on a similar stream, is an adaptive AI web assistant, for web and even API as well. I mean, I used to read a lot of archive papers, right? I used to, there's a habit like I see always, at least read weekly one or two paper in archive.org. And then especially on this domain, automation domain, I understand a lot of research is already happening. I said, so research is happening, a lot of AI noise is there, but production, nothing is going up, right? And then I thought, okay, let me read those research paper and then consume whether it really is possible. Paper is different, and then implementing is different, and going to the customers is another, different game. Then I quit the company where I was working as a senior product architect there. Then 1 or 2 months, I did a lot of research again that carried out. We implemented, we scraped it, and then we took a lot of tools already available in the market. For example, browser use, I mean, a lot of other tools, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Open source, especially. I tried, okay, I think, no, this is not going to happen. So from scratch, I need to start something. That is where the concept came in. You write in a natural language, NLP, you generate test case from any of the data source. It should automate.
Mm.
On the fly, it should automate. No script generation behind the scene, no converting that script to Selenium or Playwright, no framework, nothing. That is where we just started. Then later, slowly, just what I realized is probably everyone one day will end up doing this as well. I saw a release gap. One of the big problem is given an organization, it has a lot of data. In the sense, we have requirement data, we have development, even developer data, GitHub commits, and then postmortem, I would say, in Jira, Confluence, production, service now. There's a lot of data. And QA is just focused on automation. Hey, I'll convert this to script and then automate it. That is not going to happen, and that's not the best way I see. Means what you're trying to do is you are just converting a repetitive task using something, using AI, right? That's it. That's what you're doing. But we are not leveraging AI in a proper way. So
Correct.
I saw that gap. Then we came up recently a release intelligent layer. What exactly it does is it will understand the PR, who's developer, what he's trying to do, what is the requirement, connect to Jira, connect to Figma, connect to Mixpanel, these GTMs, right? So Google Tag Manager, where it observes the user behavior data, right? So we want what exactly user is doing in a production, get that data. Probably you can get from the data or any kind of observability tools, I would say, right? Get that, fuse it, create a knowledge hub, like how you as a human or a brain, we have a knowledge, right? So create that organization knowledge, org knowledge, and you ask any question, right? That should be able to answer. So especially coming to this automation word, again, we need both. If someone asks, like, hey, can I release this? Very vague question. Can I release this feature? How do you ask? You go to different teams and get the data, or you feed that to a system, you get a summary, you go to the meeting and then answer. That's not going to happen. that will probably improve your productivity. But what we have done is we have cracked it. It will go to the PR. It will understand. It will see all the journey, and it will say, hey, you cannot release because I see this bug 3 months back. Now again it's coming up, and I see automation script I ran, and then we saw that bug as well. That meaning this has a history. How we as humans have a history, right? It carries that history and then remembers everything. In one shot, it will tell you, hey, can you just really ship this or not? See, that is where I saw this is the gap. Then I thought of trying to do too many things, too many features, try to add entire SDLC, automate. And that is where we're already headed.
Okay.
And it's working well as well. That is a different concept that we tried. So yeah, I think what I also feel like some in coming years, I think it'll be a commodity, like anyone can generate tests. But
Right.
the word is very easy to say, but it is not again easy. So one customer gave me the complex PDF. It has image, it has tables, it has links. He asked me 2-3 years back story. He asked me to generate this test case, and I just gave the test case to him. I got 50% happy with that particular test cases. Means what went wrong. So is that the model problem? Is that the implementation problem?
Correct.
Is that model is hallucinating a lot? So generation, I mean, 2-3 years back was difficult. Now everyone says that we generate test case for you. But what after that? We convert script and they run. So we are not there. We are totally different. Pure NLP. You just see the view the test case and then run them. Like that's what this journey. It made me to think in a different way, and we build this product.
Okay. So, Guru, one thing which is coming into my mind right now, since you are also a founder of this product, right? So I just want to understand in future, like everyone can automate the entire application just with the natural language. No coding would be required in future.
Good one. No coding. See, it all depends. So, see, NLP is an entry point, and whichever company, whatever the solution is, right, that would automate. The thing is, in testing, it is all important. Like what type of testing that you're trying to validate, right? If it is more functional, web is fine. But what about the security and other stuff? Right? What about the performance and stuff? There are like 100 plus different types are there. I will not say it would replace everything, but definitely some percentage will definitely help a lot because I've seen in the sense like if I take to build this simple use case with any playwright or whatever, it might take 10 hours or 20 hours or 1 day to build a framework. Not sure now I'm saying 1 day because it's very easy to use AI to build it, right? Not the 5 years back. I spent 3 months to build this, right? So then why would we need this? That is where it is totally different, and it will again, as I said, it will reduce definitely, but the maintenance is the biggest problem. What I see is what happens if application something changes. Most of the QA think that my selector or something got changed, then I should go and update. That is not the case. What I always see is if let's say checkout or any other component change, we always need to see the business impact. Those things, I don't think the AI will definitely automate 100%. That's where human, is still required. They might get in and do different types of testing, right? So when I say different type, the product, imagine the product is built with AI agent, and that heavy lifting of the AI, products are there. If you think like SDET and if you think like a QA engineer and I automate script, that won't happen. That some product will replace up to some extent. But how you think as an AI tester, imagine, or AI product owners, and that is where still a lot of thinking is required. For example, what is that LLM output we get? Who's going to validate it? What if it is hallucinates? Who's going to validate it? Is there any automation tools there? I don't know, because though we use LangFuse or LangGraph or whatever the tools we use, right? They are more of a developer tools, heavily built, on the dev workflow than the QA workflow. That QA workflow is totally missing, right? That is where we get more opportunities, I believe, to in the near future to automate more and more and go to that direction than the automation. Automation will be, as I said, it will be a commodity. 2-3 years down the line, it is common for everyone. No one will talk. On top, the dev speed is like 100x, and the QA still think that I will automate, I will convert the script, right? I will ask some AI tools, and I'll build my solution and then go ahead. They're in a task level. Definitely, I would say there are a lot of scope. It will improve, but 100% it won't replace.
Okay, great. Guru, like while exploring your product, I have seen one feature related to web and API, like web API NLP, right? So I just want
Yeah.
to understand how exactly this feature would work.
Okay, let's take end user way itself. Like when I say NLP is a natural language, so you have an application in front of you. You just start writing that, hey, navigate to this URL. You enter username, password. You enter something, and then click on login button. The what you see, right? And then verify the products. That's it. That's what you write. What you see and what you expect as well. And the next step is you just run. It will on the fly. It will run. But for your question again, how internally it works, this is all our IP. But I can just say we use 12 different techniques to identify the element on the fly.
Okay.
What best? We use LLM there as well, and we use a lot of DOM or tree structure and everything. That's one layer. And for that, we have built our own engine that would understand the intent. When you say enter username this ABC in email field, then how is going to understand as a human how we think, right? The
Yes.
same. For this there are two things. One, you have to understand intent and then action. The moment you know the intent that coming from the LLM models, the next is an action, right? So LLM will not automate, right? It is just a reasoning model, right? If you know, and this intent will give what is the relationship between this flow. And then next we have our own engine, of course, behind the scene, the playwright pick up, and then it will dynamically do an action.
Okay.
Action is like you drag and drop. There's a pop-up, you click, close, checkbox, radio button, any components what we have right now for a given web application that works. That's how the NLP engine is built. Alongside, we have API as well. So API, we use Postman, we use a REST assured, a lot of API tools we use, and we still struggle to write a lot of API tests as well. You need to be expert in JavaScript or some other the language. What we have done is, again, as you said, is more of NLP. You can say, hey, call, get, post, URL. This is the data. Verify on a particular, response has this body, and then verify the order is equal to ABC with total greater than $50. So the way we speak, you can just feed it to the system. It will work automatically behind the scene.
Okay, so it means anyone can do the automation with this web and API NLP feature. We just need to put the instructions and it will start.
Yes. Yep. 100%.
Great. So is there any like feature available on your product where we just like provide some screenshots or Figma designs and it will start automating the things? That is also possible?
Yeah, so that's what I keep saying, right? So when I say data source, the data is coming from the Jira requirements, Figma, Hotjar, or it could be anywhere. So Figma is a very interesting one where I was working with one of the clients. They told, hey, we have Jira, we can connect to Jira and then generate. They said like, we don't want Jira because we don't use Jira. So we have screenshots. It could be a screenshot, I would say Figma design, right? Then they asked me, okay, you convert that to an NLP test and then automate them. Okay, we did that. So you can bunch of Figma designs. You can just upload it, and good that Figma also exposes API. We can connect to their metadata. So when you say metadata, it gives a lot of information about the buttons and everything, and then we can get it and then we can convert. So when I say convert, again, don't expect like it will convert a playwright script because it sees the button. It will use some XPath CSS. Because we really don't care about, because all happens at runtime in our case, in our product, right? So we converted that to a first NLP test, test case, the way I gave the example for one of the username login, right? In the same way, there was orders for the entire order, it was coming up. And the challenge I faced is it is not 100% again. Why? Because Figma designs, as an end user, you think as a business flows, right? We need screens. It has to connect automatically. So we built our own knowledge hub. It connected well, and the way you traverse to screen, you were able to generate test cases. One example, I would real-time example there is a drop down. It says that you select drop down as approved or rejected or pending, right? When you got a design, it says a drop down. That's it. We don't have a real value. You got it right. So when I say real value, when someone should click, then they get a value. Or in metadata, we might get more information of the design, UI UX design, not the values. The real values are approved, rejected or something, right?
Right.
So when you build a test case, it will say, hey, select something from a drop down. That's it. What to select from drop down? The data. That data piece is missing. So what we gave is, okay, the Figma design, definitely 100% not possible to automate the design. It will generate test case, right? What the quality of test case is not great. What we told them is, hey, you attach a business rules for this. What are those business rules? Means when I want to create an order, I should not be able to create based on this criteria. So we have a business rules, right? Those business rules, if you upload, and then what we have done is we marry these data, Figma data, and then the business rules data. We just connect it, and we give a connection. Hey, how these two are related? That's where when data would come into picture. And then when I say go to LLM and then say generate test case, now while generating, it will add that value in a drop down. That piece was missing, right? Like there's a lot of examples. Like one example, there is a mouse move over. You just mouse move over to the table to the last column. Then you get a dots, an arrow. Click on it, you get a menu. Click on it, you get a sub menu. Now, though we gave the screenshot, all references, right? The test case, what it generated, right? Always we need to make sure that how it is compatible for an automation, especially for the NLP, right? You can't say verify the data. What data? It doesn't know what to verify the data. We can't say verify the product. It doesn't know what product, which product, what to verify in the table. It doesn't know, right? So that is where we need to give a lot of instructions when you try to NLP. So that was not generating again, right? So these are the challenges there. We have cracked it. Now, yes, in our product we support this. It works really well. Until and unless you connect to business rules or Jira somewhere else, get the information, create a knowledge hub, then the quality of the test steps, I would say, will be more accurate. And again, not 100%. Right? Still, we need to tweak. That's where you ask the question, like 100% you'll automate in future. In future, maybe, I don't know, but at this stage, this is what we're going through. So there is some tweaks required to adjust to the automation flow and then run the suit.
Okay, fine, Guru. Guru, like since you are working on a product, you are building a product, you have already covered web and API. So I just want to understand, do you also planning any feature for performance and security testing with the AI capabilities? Because this is the area where no one is talking about.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I thought about it by applying a lot of OAuth rules and everything. We reached up to some extent by doing the static rules, probably by adding them. But yes, it's a roadmap. Definitely not at this time. We felt more on a web API is very important. Then yes, I mean that will be very interesting to build this so that in one package you get everything. Like whenever, imagine, I'm just saying, developer push the code, you ask a security vulnerability check, it does. API, yes, it does on the spot. Any web web automation, yes, it does. Right. So that is where we want to reach.
So Guru, so far we have talked about your product, and before jumping on to next question, I just want to see your product. So if you can just give us a small demo, our audience would understand and relate the things which we have talked so far.
Okay, perfect. So I'll not take much time because it has around 10 plus features. I will. Okay, I'll just share my screen.
Yeah. Yes, it's visible.
Okay, so cool. We keep talking about NLP tests, right? So I'll just take that example. I'll also try to show one of the Figma design how it will connect, and then also see the reporting layer as well. Just the three simple in next 5 to 10 minutes. I'll see. Okay, this is our once you log in, you see the projects, and then if you go to do app, so manage screen, then you see all the test cases. This is the panel. Basically, you write a lot of test cases. It's a management, right? It's a kind of a management tool. Then you write the test suits here. Okay. I'll take this simple example. As you can see, I'll just zoom in. This is our NLP panel test steps where it talks about, okay, you just feed in a simple NLP way, like navigate, user, password, login button, verify something, right? So I can do in the same way, this is a panel where you enter all the NLP style. And if I run this, right, what we have done is you can run through in agent mode if you're in a VPN, or any kind of enterprise customers, right? So they can run behind the agent mode in the local system, or we connect to browser stack, Lambda test, or any of the cloud applications. And then one option we have, they can run from our platform itself. So ours is a very lightweight platform where it runs one of the Docker container behind the scene. It'll pick up all the steps that what you just wrote in a particular scenario. Then every step it is executing as you can see, username, password, it filled, it took a screenshot and success message, and then clicked on login button. It will take some time to generate a video, and it will give the real proof uh, how uh, how we picked the selector. Because someone asked me, we don't know what kind of selector, like how it is working, and we thought, okay, we'll give that information as well. So this is the first scene that you get. You write simple NLP test, you save and run without writing a single piece of code. Then you see this, a narration where what it is done. So not only that, what we have done is we also capture traces. The traces are really important. So when you go to the steps, you can see the screenshot. You can see, if I zoom in, right, you can see it picked up some locator on the fly, DPS locator, and then it's also suggesting you can do alternative locators as well. So, okay, it is nothing for the user. We just show. Another beauty is that whenever you run this, right, it holds the memory. It will understand when I say memory. Next time when you run, right, it knows that for this use case already this worked for me. Then it will pick up. Say for example, it picked up CSS, right? Then next time if you run, right, it will automatically pick that selector because it knows it will work, and then it will run, right? This all happens behind the scene. That's the intelligence we have. And then performance, again, this is not a performance tool that we try to capture those metrics, but this is more of like each step, how much, or how many seconds that would pick up and then show for each component. So overall, what is the duration it took in end to end, which are the slowest steps. Probably clicking on login button, it might struggle because there's other complexities maybe, or network issues we don't know. So that is where we try to capture at a very high level. And then logs, errors are pretty straightforward. Yeah, then you can close this. Okay, other things we have, I may not cover, like we can export, we can write a macro. If you see this, right, username, password is exposed here. This is not a good practice. So we have a macros. I can write as many as macros here. I can hide it, everything behind the scene. We can call those macros, let's say at the rate login, then you should be able to do this. And for one of the customer, we have the Postman collection. So already they've done an API testing. They want to convert that. We can import and then get all the API test suite here as well. And we can export. I mean, yeah, the very important thing is we can even get your framework. So for example, again, one customer, they had heavily invested on Selenium and Playwright as well. So around 200 test case. We just uploaded the entire framework. Then we got all the NLP test cases, like something like this. So end of the day, you get NLP test case. So this is what it is in the sample. You can see, right? And yeah, you get everything.
Got it. What I understood, with Test Neo, anyone can do the automation, right?
Yes, it's pretty simple, straightforward. They can type it, and then if they're SMEs, right, they know how the application works.
Okay.
Yes, they should be able to automate within 2 minutes.
Right. So, Guru, if someone wants to start from day one, is there any documentation or some learning platform where they can get to know how exactly they have to start
Yeah,
the capabilities?
yeah. This is a good one. What we thought is, moment you log in, right, once they register, they get into testing a playground, or why we call it a playground. For example, someone asked me, okay, how do you deal with data? Let's say there is an HTML data, then how do you interact with the data, right? If I zoom in, right, so these are the sample working applications. It will say, hey, verify the table. What are the test cases trying to do? I will not explain much there. But we have a sample across the different variations, like how do you handle pop-ups, the lock-ins, the tables, the drag and drop, whatever the component. As you can see, there are 80 plus examples here. It starts from basic to intermediate to advanced. Even we have a programming hook also, right? So we call it as a code block. Say for example, I want to extract the data from a table, and let's say our product is not supporting, because I need a customization where you people come in as expertise on the Playwright, right? So I can write a piece of code within the same NLP. If you see this first line, it's all NLP. The last line is trying to verify the page contains Smith. But if you see this code block, it's completely your custom logic that you have written, right? So what I meant to say is this works for even advanced user, not only a manual tester or who knows about automation. Anyone can come in and then they can go to the playground. And if I click on this try now button, it will ask me to take or where you want to dump this test. Let's say I'll go to do app. The moment I dump, then it will go and publish that particular test case. Then I can go to the manage, and then I can search for something like login. As you see, this is the test case that dumped here.
Okay.
Yeah, and another thing is we have even data parameter as well. You don't need to verify too much about the CSV Excel sheet. I remember in Selenium I used to do, right? So nothing much. So you can get this data within this particular block itself. You can write a simple for loop. Hey, fill this username with username and fill this password with password. Runtime, it will take this as a data and then we'll try to validate the. So yes, for your question, yes, we have a playground concept, and at the same time we have help section as well. This is getting evolved. We are adding more and more baby steps here to anyone to onboard. So yes, we have help section here. Anyone can go and then do a deep dive. There is a release intelligence. There is engineering memory. There is web-based assistant, API testing, right? So even API testing also very simple. It says like you call API, get, verify the response title is not empty, right? So all the examples are there. They just need to try it out from the play.
Right. Guru, one thing I have seen on this doc related to release intelligence, right? So can you just elaborate a little bit more, because this is something different from other docs?
Yeah. I mean, before getting in, I'll just explain a bit about the feature. Like, see, developer. This is more of a developer mode, right? So this product is for developers, architects, or dev QA, anyone, even the engineering manager as well. I'll just show the docs in a minute. Any a developer build a feature using Jira user stories or somewhere else you get data. You try to build a particular piece of component, and then we collect the information about how the development is going. That's a journey, right? You might do a lot of check-in, check-out day in, day out, right? So we collect all the information, what's happening behind the scene. We collect the data, and then one of the order table, let's say he published, then he will say, hey, 82% risk score is that whatever the changes you made for the order table schema migration, right? Add fulfillment status, that is going to impact a lot. So what it's going to impact, because we understand their code, for example, order service TS, or this is purely development, right? We understand the entire source code, and then we will give in a normal way affected flows. Because of this change, your order placement, order fulfillment, webhook, everything's going for a toss. See, that is a beauty, right? So before even publishing the build to the QA, developer has made changes. Now our product, plugin there, and then it'll try to validate. Hey, you cannot release because this is the score, right? So what is that? Why I can't release? Because this is what it's trying to give you, all the historical failure rate from 7 days or 60 days. This is what happens, and then we also give the blast radius, like in the sense like if you change on the order, what is the impact test case, or impact, how it would impact. So the second important thing is the test generation or test automation. That is another, we call it as signals. So the test automation is purely a QA job. But what we thought is, we embed that into developer workflow. It will automatically run those tests, and it will give the signal saying that, hey, all tests related to order it passed, right? So that is where we give this information. Example, this checkout is related to cart summary and order service details, and then all the files with the depth it can go, and then you can figure out what is the impacted test cases. That's what we see here. There's an impact test case. If you click on this, it will give you the exact test case saying that for this checkout service, it's trying to do a mapping. In checkout service, I found 30 test case. It has to be executed. So developer no need to build anything, no need to learn about Playwright, nothing. You can just from here, you can open that test manager and we can run on the spot, right? So this is, and it will also recommend what to change, what not to change, and review comment, right? Everything it's going to add in the release management.
Wow.
And this one thing is we always we carry memory, right? So that's what I always come in. So the same flow. This is where really readiness will give you this is the verification done, this is the average risk, and this is the incident density, and then what are those incident. You can get to the depths in detail, and then get all of the PR details, whether it is able to ship or not. That's what I was saying earlier, right? When you ask these questions, right? So automation, yes, is one part, but no one is answering. I can ship this. Is the engineering a team or a stakeholder ask this? I cannot place an order. Let's say Zomato, or whatever you say, right? So can I? How confidently you can say that it's release, right? So I know even I used to give the answer like some years back. Yeah, we ran find a test case. No, 480 passed. Two are critical. Two are major. Two are minor. No one is going to understand. Trust me. This AI era, if I give the bug data to any platform, it will give the answer, right? So people have a tendency, they have very less time to grab this, right? They don't have no one has time. So the thing is, you ask this question to our platform, it will give go ahead, no go, right? Go or no go ahead, right? It will collect all the information and it will give you the entire release list. So even one step forward, what we went is like for a given application, even I can let's say there is a postmortem pattern, right? So means in the sense once you deployed the build to the customer, we got a RCA because they got a work, and then you need to make sure that whether that is working or not. So you give the all the impact, I mean all the RCA document or a piece, right? And I can save that as a memory, engineering memory, so that it will store it in future in the next sprint. Let's say the checkout order, someone let us see, Srikanth is changing the code, then automatically it will fire, hey, I remember this, you released to this customer and it broke, and then we ran 36 test case, and now you're touching the same code, so make sure that it won't break. See that kind of intelligence will come in only when you start executing, collecting a lot of data, and you save that as a memory, right? And that's how you can connect to. I mean, you can upload the bugs, you can connect to Jira, you can get the data from Confluence. Let's say you just put a URL, and then it will collect all the data from your wiki pages, and it will create a memory for you, right? And then from there you can easily adopt it.
Impressive.
This is more of a purely on the release management. So I think people might get confused. Oh, okay, this is release management. What QA is supposed to do here? And is that QA signals also collected as part of a release? Yes, we collect those information from the, when I say QA signal, there's automation already automated. But one thing I think we should clearly, these are all cool UIs, and I don't think so dev would spend more time on this. What we realized, if you go to our website, so there is something like all docs, and you go to MCP or somewhere. So we made this as a plugin. You can go to Browser, you can go to Claude desktop or a Claude, in any platform, Cursor, I would say, VS Code, Copilot, wherever you go, we have a agent running already testing. You can search and then download it and then configure it. So we have a different prompt packs. They can developer can ask something like, hey, for this flow, Figma. I mean, the good example you asked, Figma test flow, right? Call this Figma, and then you tell me the overall summary and then context, and then now you run those test case for me, right? So they never used to come to UI and run. If developer wants to run, we need to embed that in IDE, right? No matter which IDE he is using, you need to embed there. So when I say embed, either we need to give as an agent or MCP, we need to expose those and then call those MCP, from a platform, and then they can ask questions within within the IDE, and then it will run the flow. That is, this is really vast, but I'm just trying to tell you that not only UI developer needs more of a IDE plugin, IDE driven, right? Then only that makes sense for this product. So that's what we realized, and we launched that in last month. Even any developer QA can do this.
Got it, Guru. So this product is not only for QA, it is for dev, BA, everyone in the entire industry, right? Everyone can use.
Yes. Anyone can use this. It all depends upon their persona. We call it as a persona intelligent. So you are let's say you are an architect, Srikanth. So you heavily spend on Playwright, those kind of frameworks. You still may not. I would not say not like, but you're more happy once this testing is in Cursor or VS Code, right? Even for QA also, we have that plugin. They can get into what is it, Playwright SDK. We have it. It's our own Tesneo Playwright SDK. And if I just zoom in, right, if you see this, if you observe very carefully, all these are NLP test, right? And these two are very custom. In a sense, not custom, but at least on the playwright steps. And you as a architect, let's say, no, I might use Testneo Playwright SDK. It's intelligent because of this, but I want to add my own flavor because I have a let's say Slack or other integration where I want to take it, or it could be anything, right? You can write whatever the code you want, right? We don't care, right? So we give as a plugin, and you do whatever, right? So that's the beauty, that it is not like a vendor lock-in. The moment we give, right, any layman from anywhere, any IDE, irrespective of any title, anyone can use it. That's what we say. One platform, it's for everyone. Single platform. You ask me today any code or any IDE platforms, right? It just works great. Like if we just quickly go this, this is the fun. VS Code, Cursor, Windsurf, Hero, and Testneo CLI, GitHub Actions, GitHub CLI. GitLab CLI. Sorry, and GitLab CI, Circle CI, and then Claude, the local agent. It's up to you, like how you want to consume this.
Got it, Guru. Thank you for such a wonderful demo. And I'm sure like audience would love this tool once they would start using it, right? So it's only the audience, once they would start using, BA would start using as per their own persona, they would start based on their own persona, they would get the results, right?
Perfect. Yep.
Okay. Now let's resume our discussion once again. So since we talked about Testneo in depth, now as a QA, I want to understand what all skills we should develop for surviving in next 2 to 3 years. Since the product which you are working on is totally dependent on NLP, right? As a QA, we just need to put the steps and it would do the rest of the actions. So what skills we should develop to survive or to stay relevant for next 2 to 3 years? I'm not asking for 5 years because no one would think of, at least in this AI era.
Yeah, this is a very good question. I'll not ask in terms of our product. Let's spark our product, right? So it's a very generic question for anyone how they would survive. If you just take the history, like how we used to do QA, definitely that's going to change. One thing is all of a sudden is coming to my mind is there is something like Anthropic released. There's a new quote from them: forward deployed engineer.
Okay.
I've heard about it. Forward deployed engineer. Okay, so there's a new thing as a title for an engineer. That's what they do in their companies, right? Or big companies, especially the AI companies. Forward deployed engineer. So what do you mean by this? Any engineer working closely. Typically today we have a lot of departments working in, right? This guy will work very closely to the product and the customer, direct, right? See, he understands the customer pain and is going to implement it, and he's going to take that as a product ownership, right? And end to end understand the since you said the AI era, right? The way we develop the product, the way we consume it, everything is going to change, right? So we need someone who would understand this ecosystem. So this is something, a new term they're getting in. Right? Even I was thinking where QA would sit. Even I was asking myself the question, now the QA would sit. People in the development, they think they think 100x, right? What I need to know. I know that if I give answer, you might say, or audience might say, hey, we know this already, right? For example, if I say, go to ChatGPT or Claude, you ask go to the prompt, you ask questions, it will give the playwright, you copy this, you put it into your framework and run. That is all commodity now. Everyone is already doing it. That will definitely not survive. If you do that skill upgrade, you're not going to survive, right? So always for a survive, we just need to observe this space, AI space, what's happening, how I need to get in there. So for example, probably I can say, hey, we can leverage RAG, LangChain, LangGraph, embeddings, vector. These are the common terms that we keep hearing from the development side. Right. So why can't QA get in there and then try to build their own in-house tools for the company that where you are working or someone is working, right? So for that, definitely, don't be happy with that. If I give this data, it's going to convert to my framework and I copy paste and run. Don't be super excited and happy there. There's already so many tools are already solving this problem. So try to learn something very new like agentic AI or AI agents, right? So agents will do the planning. Let's say you are a test plan or you have a test suite. Even we use a lot of AI agents, or crew AI. Even our MCP you can take and then use it, right? So a lot of terms are getting in there, and then QA is getting confused. If I automate playwright, that is the only way I can survive 100%. No, to survive this, again, you need to understand these kind of tech stack, the new AI architect, I would call, right? Rather than you might know, even I worked as a automation architect in my career, and then a lot of shift happened, right? Now I don't think so. There'll be automation architect, or I don't say estates, right? In future, the expectation or the transformation will be totally different. You need to understand the entire ecosystem, what is there for AI, and in future, I believe there'll be a AI automation architect. Why not? Because this guy will take care of the LLMs, take care of the AI agentic verification, take care of the readiness, take care of the entire workflow, and then getting to the customers. Not only automation. So don't think that if I learn something MCP or even AI agent within automation, I don't think so. You can still survive, because these things will definitely get embedded to the development workflow. Just imagine if everything got embedded to workflow, then what QA would do,
Right.
right? So I think they have an opportunity. Even now, we are in a good 13 era. When I say opportunity, try to build something or think something. How do you validate an agent? If someone, a company, they say, hey, we have agent, we build it. How confidently we can deploy? So what I need to learn there? So learn something about. Technically, I could say here, like, learn LangGraph, RAG, MCP, how to learn how to build crew AI agents, and don't try to build. Always try to see what is the outcome and how do you validate them, right? When I say validate, you, no matter what which LLM you use, people say, hey, data security, I will not use, don't use this. You use Olama, or in your local machines, you install, and then on-prem, deployment would happen one day, and then try to validate. So there are a lot of things happening, and then QA is not thinking in that direction. They are still thinking, as I said, I should not repeat, but again, playwright, automation, that will not go, per your question as asked, like 2 to 3 years or 5 years down the line. Things will become like pure autonomous agent.
Right.
Definitely, we are seeing that. So that is where I think you should be very careful, and then see what's happening in the market, and then just watch there, and try to adopt yourself. It's a journey. We all there, right? So we definitely need to go with that flow, and then be up to date, and then see the outcome.
I agree with your thoughts. Like traditional testing would definitely change with time. We have
It will
to
change.
move towards like how we can validate the AI-powered applications, whether those are RAG
Yes,
or something, right? So
chatbot or whatever.
chatbots,
Yeah.
right. Guru, one thing I have observed in most of the organization, like in 2026 especially, as you said, test case generation, script creation, that is not a big deal, right?
Yep.
Anyone can use like Cursor, Kiro, and they just do it effectively, right? But the concern which is right now coming from the management, like resources are overutilizing the tokens. They're not handling the
Yeah,
Cursor,
yeah,
Kiro in an effective way, right? So do you suggest any effective approach? Because if
yeah.
you type random prompts, it will definitely generate, but at the same time, it would consume a lot of tokens. So management is right now bothering on the token side.
Yeah, this is even including me as well, right? So we spend a lot of dollars on Trezor, and then even our product consumes a lot of LLMs, and we need to place the cost very effectively to the customers. That is a different story, and then we day in day out we also use, right? So what I noticed is what you said is correct, but there is always a TPM and RPM, right? Tokens per minute, and then what is the your rate per minute. So anytime you just keep feeding it, it will just say, hey, you exhausted token, because this is what the limitation it has. You need to upgrade or do that. Second thing, I've seen people use in a very different way for every small things, more vibe coding, right? Hey, can you start this server?
Yes.
What happens is, VS Code or whatever, it already learned or indexed a lot. It understand. It'll try to always give very big answers. It will hallucinate, right? And then out of that, you pick something, you go and then you run it and then come back. Then they keep asking the same question again and again, and that doesn't make any sense, right? So when you try to build something, what is your objective? Okay, I'll just take a simple same I think you're asking on the playwright side or whatever the things that we're using, right? You build a POM page object model or whatever you ask, then it will definitely build. Once it is built, right, we have a tips is something like we have a cursor settings where we can define the rules, right? Kiro or cursor VS Code, there are some rules, and there you can define the rules, and then we can instruct the prompt whenever they give, right? It will act on that rule and not exceeding much of the token. That's one way of doing it, right? But still, it all depends upon the rules that what you attach. Rules, you might give very big MD file, markdown file, and then saying that this is what you do. See, this is a day in day out developer, the problem. So even sometimes, I mean, if you ask me how I am using it, we build a lot of cache. We use Redis. We know that same question again and again. You're asking, it will not go to LLM. It will go to our in-house inbuilt memory. It will go there and understand, and then we'll try to answer. Right. So that's all coming from a cache. Right. So I think that's other way. I think you should be very carefully, using that while trying to build. Don't do too much of vibe. Understand what it's giving, and then you as a human think, and then try to code as well wherever is required, and then put a MD files or try to give implement any cache techniques internally. You can build a small in-house application, I would say. Right? You can't build a cache on a cursor. Right? You need to build a separate platform within your organization that will control the the tokens. And the same thing we did for our product as well. If you ask me, Guru, you run NLP test on the fly. You keep saying that, and then you see the DOM, you see the structure, and then everything is sent to LLM. Some tokens will go and some token will come back as an output, right? Imagine that one test case, I have 10 steps, 100, 110,000 steps, right? 1,000 times it runs. Then one test case, 10 steps, it will take $0.5, 0.5 into 100, $50. I mean, that many dollars is already spent, right? Right. So that is a bad design, I would say, bad design. So there's even same problem we had. We implement a lot of cache techniques. Once it runs, it remembers. Second time, yes, it will take care by itself, so that you can reduce the tokens and everything, very drastically.
Got it. Yeah. One thing I want to add here, that's my experience so far. Whenever any professional would start using cursor or Kiro, anything, right? They just think of it's like a magic. They just provide the prompt and it would do the automation and everything, right? So until unless professional would not know about the basics, suppose I'm going to use Kiro and I don't know about Playwright, I want to automate something, and I can do it with Kiro or cursor. But until unless I don't know the basics, maybe I would do the prompting again and again for the solution, which is not required. If I know the basics, maybe I can do it the coding part, right? I need not to go every time do the prompting and get the results. Even for the debugging, if I don't know the basics, definitely I would ask cursor or Kiro again and again, though it can be resolved easily, right? So this is the thing which I have seen very frequent in the professionals. They just think AI in a different way. They just think that, yeah, if we have the license, we can do anything without the basic knowledge. So that's the gap I can see right now in the industry.
Yeah, that is very much valid. But I think I one thing to add, like any senior, or I mean, as I said, anyone coming in, don't allow them. What I would say is you are a senior, then try to build that framework. I mean, building that is very easy now, right? Right. Anyone can build the base framework, and then we can implement kind of a rack system on top of it. They ask a question, they understand how to use it. Some kind of tips and tricks how to use your own framework, that what you build, and then embed that with your cursor and Kiro as well. And then there are some set of instructions. That's the way they should follow. So those things I think probably will help them instead of wasting the tokens, right? Help them initially for onboard purpose, and then even the end-to-end flow as well.
Right. Guru, one thing again, I just want to ask related to the certification part, because organizations are pushing their employees to do some certifications or do some upskilling, right? On Udemy, we have a lot of certificates or a lot of courses, right? So is there any specific certifications you would recommend for our audience that can give exact value? I'm not asking for just for the sake of certification, but the value addition. Do you have any certificate that you want to recommend?
I recommend, I mean, there are a lot of tools already there. I mean, the courses especially, right? And we also do academy. the testing your side, right? So that is totally a different ball game. Everyone does the same way of generating script, but this would be a totally different ball game. Like we have a set of common problems. Then how do we solve via recipes? We call them as a recipes. So recipe it is one problem. We go through this recipe, and that will probably give a good framework. Like how do you solve? For example, I want to introduce smart weights for my parent. Right? What do you mean by smart weight? Or I would say I want to introduce cache techniques to my framework. Or whenever we run, we collect a lot of logs. Then what you are going to do with that log? So these are the things I don't see in Udemy or any of the way, right? So that they won't. They always teach us in a very different way. Like you prompt it, you get the data, you build a framework, it's your headache. So after that, what happens? That is where academy would come in and then try to give like 30, 40 plus ready-made recipes. I would say is already working. They can take it to their framework and then improve the way they know the playwright or MCP, LangChain or whatever, right? So whatever they know, they can improve a lot on top of it. That will give a lot of outcomes. It's more of outcome driven rather than just, as you said, rightly, for the sake of learning, I can go here and ask and then I get a framework. That will not work out, as I said earlier, right? So we need to have the clear direction or objective where we want to get it. So that's what we cover in the academy.
Got it. Got it. One query is from my point of view, like any senior or who is having around 10 plus years of experience, and if he wants to move into a profile like AI tester or AI test architect, right? So how we can move it towards that direction? Is there a roadmap?
Yeah, I think I think I was saying earlier as well, where it is already moving as a forward deployed. That's where they're looking at the same example I was trying to say. In future, it would be more of a architect. Then yes, definitely it will be a roadmap. We need to focus more on building a solution of your in-house within your organization than using heavily a building. I mean, you don't spend too much time building a frameworks. That is already done, right? If you also can ask, you will definitely develop. Like how do you understand the entire AI journey for the given product, right? See where we can apply the verification at any given point of time. Like it could be the where developer and then release. There are a lot of things happening, right? Why QA is waiting something like something is built, then only I will go and then verify my framework is there. That could be probably third step or a fifth step. I don't know. Some stage, right? That's a stage. So we need to get in as early as possible with dev hook and then try to see where a lot of business outcomes I can definitely deliver with this AI solution. So don't think only on the playwright side. One example I just give you where one of the customer actually was working almost 2 to 3 years back. They asked this question like, we have a data like in GPs. I'll give it to you. You analyze because that has very interesting data from the banking application. Now that will give a lot of signals what they're trying to do, what's happening there. Either the same signal I can, as a developer, I can feed it, or you are a QA, an architect basically, right? Now, a architect, then you get this data and then build a solution and then deliver. Is it possible? So forget about playwright, forget about everything. That is not the case, right? So how we are going to validate the entire the entire dump? Dump validating is not easy. It is typically ETL part. I don't go with the big data and everything. Okay, so we need to extract it. We need to build a RAG on top of it, or intelligent, RAG, I would say now, and then try to observe the data. So QA feels that no one is applying, I think, AML techniques, at least machine learning techniques, right? They think I just give this, it'll give me the data or a script or whatever. I'm happy with this. No, see, imagine this use case. It came to me, and then it is purely an ML game, right? You can't feed 500 MB data to a model and then, hey, tell me what is this? What I can do with this? I mean, we did it with a very small setup data, and then we got some signal saying that, hey, this has a lot of errors, a lot of debugging, a lot of warnings, a lot of customer is trying to do too many things, and it collected all Apache logs or any other kind of logs, right? See how, again, as you as an architect, AI architect, QA architect, right? Especially, how do you consume this? You can probably come up with an idea. Hey, I've seen the pattern for 3 months. This is what my experience I did actually. Yeah, one of the banking applications, the moment they release, right, they always get the common issues. Always get the common issue. Let's say out of 3 or 5, right? Always there are some set of common issues. And what derives to this common issue? Where is the problem? The problem is the dev, or it could be understanding. Not only dev QA, right? It could be an understanding or a communication. So these are the data it's coming up. But no one is, as an AI architect, I would say, especially in QA terms, again, you should go beyond testing, right? And then try to see this data. So what this data will tell us, probably it will try to improve your test coverage if there is a really gap, or it will try to improve your communication where, hey, the requirement what we are getting, right, it may not be well written, or it's not giving enough information as an acceptance criteria, and that is missing a lot, right? So these things we should collect, uh, uh, you know and then build a system on top of it, and try to see any ML techniques I can apply so that I can build a very predictive model. If I get these kind of logs or data in future, it will automatically predict me that, hey, if you going to deploy to this customer A, then definitely it's going to break.
Right.
How are you going to see that break, right? So again, one example where we're working for, again, the other bank, right? So they use Guideware, Guideware insurance products, great Guideware. They told me, like, in insurance there are a lot of like 1,000+ parameters. It keep changing, right? So whenever they change something in a parameter, your downstream suit, right, they need to execute everything. Like 5,000 test cases they used to execute, right? Then they told me one simple thing: if I change this type of insurance, right, why I'm supposed to run 5,000 regulations? Why I'm running this? Why can't we run only the affected case? Then I asked, where are the data? In Jira, don't ask me, because no one is maintaining the data, especially with enterprise customers. Document and all, it won't help. The only way they give me is, I have the logs. You analyze the logs. It's left to you. You come back with that solution, right? That's one of the toughest job. Forget about the playwright or anything. You as an architect, we learned a lot on the lang chain, lang graph. We learned more on the knowledge graph. Why can't we create a knowledge hub for that particular banking system itself, and then try to see in the future any architectural change, any business change, or any development change, right? So any change would happen that would automatically tell us something. So we leverage AI up to some extent, but we also need to be learning something new. ML techniques is always there, right? Machine learning is there from ages, right? So you need QA need to learn. Why not on something else, and then try to build as a one solution, so that you won't leverage always on AI, right? You have your own system. That is one thing. Second thing they ask, okay, don't use any LLM. So you use can you train the data? So training data, it all comes from ML expertise, right? So they told, okay, we can take any small models and we can train your data, and then we ask a question, then probably it will respond me, and then I can give it to you. But this should not go outside your LLM. It has to be within your organization. Then how we are going to deploy this? How are you going to manage the deployment, right? Then you need to understand the Docker, the containers, and then all the AI ecosystem. The way you think about simple machines won't work. Now you need a GPU machine, lightweight. You need to know that's why the investments, the other stuff, obviously would come in. But it's a long shot, I would say. I mean, that's a journey, I would say. Not from day one you're going to learn all ML techniques and then training in your organization, right? So people are asking these kind of questions. So, but answering them is not enough the way we used to do, right? We, as you rightly asked, how QA now thinking the future direction, right? Do I need to learn this? This is what the important, that we need to realize, and then probably go in that roadmap, I would say.
I think
I hope this was long shot, but I'm just trying to connect too many things, because based on my experience, that what I faced, even I learned a lot of things from that, and then try to.
I think we should have to change our mindset, because earlier we just think we are a functional tester or a manual tester, right? But now the way AI is evolving, we also have to evolve.
100%. Yep.
Right. So Guru, thanks. Whatever things you have shared, whatever learnings you have shared so far, we are now at the end of the show, at the end of the episode. And before closing this episode, I just want to understand your mission behind all the initiatives, whatever you are running for the community, because you're working on multiple initiatives. So I just want to understand your mission.
Yeah, I mean, a mission with respect to the product and even outside as well community, right? I keep going and attending many of the workshops, webinars, and then try to see, where the QA is heading, what they are thinking. Is that we are well, aligned with that, and also I'm open source community where I contribute as well. Recently, we did something like a vector admin panel. We call this a VEC admin, where I was working with a lot of embeddings tools. I faced a lot of problems because we don't have especially with the open source tools. I mean to say, we use vector DBs, right? So not the PostgreDBs. That's a new thing that AI guys need to understand, especially QA. What are those? How they store the data? How to retrieve that? If someone asks to test it, right? Even they don't know what is a vector DB, right? And there's no UI for where the tools I was using, Quadrant or FASs, right? Vivid. It was there, but they're very costly. So we need to deploy in any of the AWS or GCP, and then need to spend a lot of dollars on that. Then yes, that's where we built a free open source tool. We already published this, and people are using it. They are finding even for a QA. Let's say you in your organization use FASs or any kind of embeddings, right? You want to visualize this, how my data is chunked and how the data is looking at now. Then you need to query a lot. You need to query a lot. It's a new technology, right? You need to query a lot. You need to understand many things. So instead of that, we have a UI. We can go to any of these one dashboard. You can get multiple metrics there to analyze what's happening, especially with the data. I mean, good that you asked this because I got an answer now the question where when you upload any document, this is what internally happens, right? Technically speaking, it will change the data and it will go sit somewhere. Where is that? It's not database. It's not all a database, right? It's all about the number game. It stores in embeds in all 0 1s. The nearest one, semantic search, right? I mean, that's what it happens. That's where QA should think about it, right? So even when I go to the community, this is what I always say: try to learn something new because the direction is going different. Different roadmap. We have it. That's number one. And second, yes, as I said, academy as well helping a lot way to connect people and then share my experience and then share probably their even complex system, what they're facing, and then that also I help them to make sure that they are well aligned with that.
Thank you. Thank you, Guru, for sharing all the insights with all of us. And I'm sure audience would love this conversation. They would love the usage of Test New. They would start asking about this features and the capabilities of Test New. So I just wish you and Test New all the very best for the future. And thank you once again for joining QA SAMVAAD.
Thank you for you as well. We exchanged many things, and then we wanted to do this for a long time. And then this is the day. I think I thoroughly enjoyed. I think there could be 50, 100 plus questions down the line. We can't cover everything. Based on my experience, my journey, what I faced over the 2022 years of experience, what I built from scratch, I'm really proud of it because we did a patent, there's an academy, we did open source, we do a lot of speaker sessions as well, right? So thoroughly enjoyed. I think I shared my best what I learned over the journey, and then thanks for those questions as well. I hope audience would like it. Probably it could be too technical in some way. That is okay, but
this is
I'm there to help them as well. Definitely they will see the next set of an automation tool. I will not say automation tool. It's more of a intelligence platform system where it has too many things. It all depends how they take it and use it. But definitely we can connect. We can do webinars. We can do workshops offline, whatever, right? So definitely that's a journey. They're going to love it. That's what I see. So the closing again, one thing I just want to leave: we are in an AI era. Don't be panic, because even my close friends, they just messaged me 2 days back. Guru, I lost a job. He was in a release manager. Than any job for me. All 15, 20 years experience guys. And entry jobs are definitely just shrinking day by day because too many things are happening with AI. So this is the two window I see. and the middle layer still okay. People are trying to learn. I would say survive with that flow. You're not with that. I mean, we are in an era, right? We just need to accept it. This is the transformation journey. You no matter what it happens, right? So I always go with 4 C's, right? C, like you concentrate, right? You be confidence, you control, and then commitment. Confidence, right? You be do more of a concentration, then control, and then commitment. So these are well aligned with your personal, especially the commitment I like, because when I was doing for a startup company, commitment in the sense like how well you're committed, the two things will happen. Family and outside pressure are totally different, right? How do you balance it? That is very important. And then confidence is like you should have a focus. Hey, I am going to do this no matter what, right? And then especially commitment is a goal. It says like it's strength, right? It is the long journey, how well you are aligned to the goal, right? You can't just skip in a 1 month or 1 week, right? So that's what always 4C principles I follow even by building a testing. Learned a lot. That's what good that I shared something. Definitely audience would love it, and then great success for them as well in the future.